let's get baking. I will give you the measurements for single serving if you're making it for a few people, or if you're doubling it, I'll give you those instructions also. So for the single serving of this recipe, you will need 4 cups of flour, or if doubling, you will need 8 cups. So I am doubling, so I am going to do 6 more of these, and then you will continue with some baking powder for the singles, or for the single serve, you will need 2 tablespoons of baking powder, but I am doubling, so I will need 4. And again, either 2 tablespoons of sugar for a single serve, or you can double for 4 tablespoons total. Now add in half a tablespoon of salt if you're doing a single portion, or 1 tablespoon if you're doing a full portion. Now we are just going to mix all of our dry ingredients together, and then we'll work on the butter part. So now for the butter part, if you are doing a single serve, you are going to need about 3/4 of a cup of butter. And if you are doubling, you're going to need about 1.5 cups butter. And then we're just going to add that into our flour, making sure to handle it as little as possible, because you don't want the butter to get warm. And now with the pastry blender, if you don't know what that is, it's essentially one of these guys. But you're going to start blending it, and you can also do your fingers, use your fingers if you have cold hands. If you don't have cold hands, run them under really cold water every now and then as you work the butter into the dough by pinching it, essentially. And if you don't even want to do that, you can use a fork. And now let's just give that a quick mix to incorporate the butter into all parts of the flour. And then I'll show you what you need to add to make this into the biscuit dough. If you are just keeping this as a double recipe, you're going to add 1.5 cups of milk. But because I am doubling, we're doing double the amount, I am going to add about 3 cups of milk. And then I am just going to mix that in just until it's fully incorporated. You don't want to overmix it. If it's a bit dry, you can always add more liquid. If it's a bit wet, you can always add more flour too. And just mix it until it all comes together. You might have to bring this out onto a floured surface if it starts to get tough to mix. So since we're using this now, we won't need to freeze it, but if you do want to freeze it, you can go ahead and do that now. Just make sure you wrap it up nicely in either some plastic wrap or a Ziploc bag, but we'll continue with this. I might freeze mine because I am making this at a later date. If you freeze it, just make sure to get it out at least 48 hours in advance so it can fully defrost. So now that I've defrosted my dough for 24 hours, as I said in the previous video clip, I am just going to roll these out into balls, and I am going to place them in the freezer for about 15 minutes just so they solidify a bit, and that'll help them bake up even nicer. So now put these in the freezer 15 to 30 minutes and we'll be right back to bake them all. And while your biscuits are in the oven, you are just going to preheat your oven to 425 Fahrenheit. Let that come to temp, and I'll show you how to bake them off next. And I should also point out that I put the biscuits on parchment on a baking sheet so they're ready to go in the oven right away. Okay, and now that my oven's preheated, I am just going to throw my biscuits in for about 15 to 18 minutes, and then I'll show you what they look like after this. And by the way, these biscuits go amazing with my roast chicken and carrot. And now that our biscuits are done, we want to test them to ensure they're completely done, just by poking them with a skewer or toothpick. If they feel doughy, they might have to go in a few more minutes, but if not, then you are good to go. So in my case, these are perfect, so I am simply just going to serve them right now with any of my mains, and they will be good to go for a couple days. So I am just going to cut mine in half so that I can get more servings out of these. And then you can easily just serve them with some honey to sweeten them up. So I tried them out off camera, and they are so flaky, so buttery, and so delicious. Topped with a bit of honey, it gives a nice sweetness to that nice savoriness. I highly recommend you go check these out. And if you want to, check out my roast chicken and to accompany these biscuits. And until next time, a banana.